King of the grill, even though we're not grilling today. What's up, everyone? I'm Alan Thrall, and today we're gonna make something that I love making. I make this probably once a week. Sausage, chicken, and rice. And I like this meal for a few reasons. Number one, it tastes good. Number two, it can be eaten as leftovers. And number three, it uses pretty much one pan or one pot. So less dishes to clean. And I made this one day for Joey Zatmary. He ate the whole plate, scarfed it down, and then said, "Hey dude, can I please have some more?" Joey loves this stuff. So let's start. First, we're gonna do chicken thighs. So the two meats for this, chicken thighs and sausage. So you don't have to use these two meats. Really, you can use any meat. You could use ground turkey, ground bison, ground beef. These aren't the best for macros if you're trying to watch your calories. But if you're making this dish for friends and family, use the chicken thighs and the sausage because it tastes the best, I think. So I'm gonna start out, already rinsed this chicken. I'm gonna start out by just cutting these up into chunks. And I'm just gonna do it right in the same package that the chicken came in so I don't have to wash more dishes. I'm gonna season this chicken, and you can use whatever seasoning you want. Salt and pepper, really whatever pre-made seasoning you want. Salt and pepper is a must though. I'm gonna use salt, pepper, which is this here, my barbecue salt, pepper seasoning, and garlic powder, smoked paprika. So those are the seasonings I'm gonna use. So just throw it on here. Mix here. You're gonna need a big pan because there's gonna be a lot of food in here. So don't use a small saute pan. Big pan or even a large pot. I guess you could do that. All right, chicken goes right in. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna use sausage. So you can get cooked sausage, fully cooked sausage, and just slice it up and then throw it in at the end. This is not cooked sausage. And I'm actually not even gonna use the casing, I'm just gonna use the sausage meat inside of it. If you wanna just, again, get a pack of ground sausage meat, you could do that, whatever you want. These were just cheap and they taste good. So you take yourself one of these wieners here, you just slice the casing and you just pull it off. All right, so I'm gonna let this chicken continue to go, get a nice sear on it, just get a head start over the sausage. There it is. So I've made this recipe before. I actually made it last year. It's a video called Quarantine Cooking, but I made it with I don't think I used chicken. I just used the sausage because that was all that was available in the grocery store. All the meat was sold out. And I used all canned products. So if you tried that recipe and you liked it, try it with all these fresh ingredients and with chicken thighs. Much better than the quarantine version. So you can just toss it in, break it up with the spatula, your wooden spoon if you want. Okay. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys how to cut an onion, how to chop an onion. So this is our weird looking yellow onion. I don't know what happened to it. This is how you chop an onion, the easiest way to chop an onion, John. You're gonna take, this is the top and the bottom, right? This would be the sides, top and bottom. You're gonna go from top to bottom, just like this, okay? And then what you'll do is, this is the root part. That would be the top. So you're gonna slice the top off like this. You can toss that. Attempt to peel it. Peel, removed. Now what you're gonna do is, this knife needs to be sharpened. This is a dull knife. What you'll do is, you got your root end here. You're going to slice into it this way, 2 slices. So you'll have one here and then one a little lower. So you put your fingers on the onion, just a slice, not all the way through. So you're going right about there. And then another slice with this dull knife right here. Okay, so we got there and there. Then you're just gonna go down on the top. Boom, so you got slices this way and this way, and then you're just gonna slice like this. And once it gets to be a little too tall, you just go here and work around. That's it. Yourself a chopped onion. Now we're going to take a bell pepper. You can use a green one, a red one, a yellow one. It does not matter. I also like to use celery if you have that, but I don't have any celery, so. You could take all this out, all the meat out, and then cook the vegetables, but I don't want to dirty another pot or another pan or plate. As few dishes as possible. So I'm just going to take these veggies and dump them in. You don't have to worry too much about the meat being fully cooked. It should be seared. But it doesn't need to be fully cooked because this is going to cook for a long time. So the chicken and the sausage, I don't have to worry about if they're ready to eat right now because they're going to sit in there for quite a while. For these vegetables and when we cook the rice in this dish. Another reason I like this dish that I didn't mention at the start is it really doesn't require any culinary skill. If you can chop an onion and a bell pepper, I think you'll be good. Or, even if you can't chop, just use a slap chop. I would use that if I had one. Okay, I'm gonna throw in some garlic. Now, fresh garlic is always better, but I use garlic. I cook with garlic. Every time I'm cooking, I feel like I use garlic. And it's just way more convenient to have this rather than peeling and chopping a bunch of cloves of garlic. And I use quite a bit, so. I would say 2 or 3 knife tips. That's good enough. The thing about cooking, it doesn't have to be precise, doesn't have to be exact. Just add a little more or less of what you want or what you don't like. It's kind of like lifting weights. The only way that you're going to get better at lifting weights is to actually do it. Cooking's the same way. You got to cook, you got to practice, you got to make mistakes, learn what works, what doesn't, to get better at cooking. You know, you could go online and watch videos about how to squat, how to deadlift. You could read about programming, and you could understand all of it, but you might not be very good at it if you don't have much experience doing it. Same way with cooking. Everyone wants a certain recipe to exactly follow. That can be helpful, but when it comes down to it, you just got to get in the kitchen and cook. We can add a little smoked paprika. About this much. I'm gonna say it's good. I mean, you could add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, because we didn't season the vegetables. But I feel like the sausage and the chicken are salty enough, and we're gonna be adding chicken stock, so I think there's plenty of salt. We don't have to add any more here. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait until these onions are kind of translucent, clear. They kind of disappear in the dish, and then we'll go on to the next step. If you are handling raw chicken or raw meat in any way, that wooden spoon when I was stirring around the raw chicken, I made sure to wash it afterwards. You should just be careful of cross-contamination. One time, I won't say his name, but John knows who he is, but I was at his house and he was barbecuing for us, and he had tongs, barbecue tongs, and he's flipping the chicken that's pretty much done. He's about to take it off the grill, but he's also adding chicken to it. So he's got his tray of raw chicken, and he's using these tongs, grabs the raw chicken, puts it on the grill, flips the cooked chicken, grabs some raw chicken, puts it on, flips the cooked chicken, and he's doing that, and then he realizes the chicken's done, so he takes with the raw chicken tongs, he grabs all the chicken pieces that are done and puts them on a plate, and he's like, "Chicken's ready." And I'm just watching him. I ate the chicken, but I'm watching him like, dude, you're slopping the tongs up in raw chicken. Anyways. Okay, next you're gonna grab some white wine. I don't even know what this is. Pinot Grigio. So a little white wine. You don't have to use white wine. You can use beer. You can use water. You could use chicken stock. But you're just gonna deglaze the pan. So what I'm gonna do is, there's actually quite a bit of fat in here. But if you just throw a little bit of that down, it's gonna start bubbling, boiling, and it's gonna help you get those chunks off of the pan. And if you let that cook, it'll start to evaporate. So you see how quickly that evaporated, all that wine, that moisture. Just help clean off the bottom of the pan a little bit. We're gonna add rice right to that pan. This is jasmine rice. And now I'm gonna mix this around and let that rice soak up some of the flavor. Let that rice cook in there just for a couple minutes. Okay, let this sit for about a minute, and then I'll stir it over, let the rice kind of char. I'll stir it around, and then we're ready to add some liquid and cook the rice. So you want to add 2 parts liquid for 1 part rice. I did 2 cups of rice. I'm gonna do 4 cups of chicken stock. And this box of chicken stock is conveniently 4 cups. I'm just gonna dump it in here. Okay, now, I'm not gonna stir this too much. I'm just gonna kind of even it out. You don't need to stir too much because you don't wanna rinse off that starch. If you watched my last meal prep video about rinsing the rice to make sticky rice, you don't need to make really sticky rice when you do this. So you don't need to mix this around too much. Just chop it up a little bit so it's even around the pan. And then I'm gonna wait until this kind of starts to boil, and at that point I'll cover it. I'm gonna turn this down to medium low, like a RPE 3.5 out of 10. And then I'm gonna slap this on. And we're gonna let it sit for 15 minutes. While the rice is cooking, I'm gonna chop up some green onions and parsley. So a little tip is put your herbs in a cup with water and they'll last longer. However, this parsley is not looking very good, so maybe it doesn't work as well as I thought. So I'm gonna take some of this sorry parsley. Sound like Eminem. Chopping up this sorry parsley. Sitting here, me and my dog Marley. John, you thirsty? You want a beer? Hops and barley. Look at the time. Better get to the gym. Swerving in and out of lanes on my Harley. Living in a van down by the river. Call me Chris Farley. Okay, I'll stop. So I'm just gonna take some of this sorry parsley, chop it up, and this is gonna go in. Once I check the rice at 15 minutes, I'm gonna sprinkle this in. If you wanna use dried parsley, you can. This fresh parsley pretty much looks like dry parsley now, but so John, are you going to World's Strongest Man?
Nope.
It's in Sacramento. And they just opened it up to spectators. Did you hear that?
Yep.
But you have to get your slots. You can't just show up. I got a few slots just based on my availability. I'm going Tuesday, Wednesday, which are qualifiers. And then Sunday for the Atlas Stones, I'll be there. They got a lot of strict restrictions though. It says no, when you get your tickets, it says no camera equipment. So I can't bring this. And it says no video or picture. So I'm sure you can't record or do anything on your iPhone either. So anyways, I'll go, but I'm not gonna be able to document any of it. Okay, now I'm gonna take these little baby cherry tomatoes and just however many I want, I'm going to slice them all in half. Okay, so we got about that much parsley, that much tomato, and that much green onion. We're gonna wait till this rice is done. Okay, 15 minutes, and take a look at it. Okay, so we're still bubbling. Looks like it's cooking a little more over here, so I'm gonna move it this way. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to add in parsley. This is my cooking show, so I'll do whatever I want. I'm gonna add it in now. I'm actually gonna stir it around. All right. Cover it. I'm gonna let it go for 10 more minutes. Almost there. Almost there. Still got a little moisture. Actually add the tomatoes at the very end. So the tomatoes are warm, but I don't want to add them too early because I don't want to turn them into mush. We'll eat. Oh yes, there it is. Okay. 5 minutes. Longest 5 minutes of my life. Alright, see, I told you I ain't got no recipe. I'm just kind of winging it, and when it's done, it's done. Taking me some green onions. There we go. And there it is. Sausage, rice, chicken dish. Eat your heart out, Martha Stewart. Thanks for watching. I'll probably do a couple more of these. Always remember, tread on time. And if you'd like, you can add your favorite hot sauce, and it's excellent.